Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and my heart is overflowing once again with gratitude and peace and excitement and joy. And I want to thank, my mind leads me different directions as I prepare myself for these streams, and I thought it appropriate. Before I jump in to what I bring, let me focus on you. Some of you folks here regularly with me, right? The smaller numbers at the beginning, there's a few of you in particular that truly you've been so generous with your support. It's because of you, right? We, the people who are the bright lights, help others in the dark. And I'm a man like others. The thumbnail, heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. It's a day of celebration, sincerely. Every day is when you can rest in the Lord. Every day is a day of celebration. So for me, though, it's a personal one as well. 22 years ago today, I became a father. Holy shit, man. I'll share a little bit of that story later, but truly, relationships, a fact of our life, relationships help us discover what we become. People help us transform through admiration or some tough lessons sometimes. But what I've learned in my life, in my pursuit of trying to better understand love and God, the purpose of our being, right? To truly understand who you are, you must be willing to give yourself away for another. Love reveals what is true. God is love. God is truth. God is true. So what I found the practice for myself, and I'm encouraging you, I'm inviting you, give yourself away. Give your old ways away. Give your old thoughts away. Give your life away and embrace the Holy Spirit of love in the present as often as you can remember. And then as you give yourself away and embrace the Holy Spirit of love, allow love, peace, and joy to lead you. Because that's the true essence of freedom, is love, peace, joy. And we find freedom in duality when we stop fighting. It's really that simple, at least from my experience it was. Peace is found in unity, wholeness. You want to align yourself with anyone, anything, align yourself to God, align yourself to Christ. So blessing sincerely, guys. Oh, here, yes, that's what I forgot to bring up. That's the heir of Talcott, man. When he returns to my life, he becomes the perfect witness. He experienced me. He lived with me in my hell. He saw me at my worst. And I've been improving ever since we parted ways. So I can't wait for him to see me better. I won't say I'm at my best, because I ain't done, man. I ain't done at all. None of us are done until we quit. But we really don't have the option to quit. It's not in our nature to give up, right? But many people get convinced to do that. I got convinced. I convinced myself long, long ago as part of Jack's testimony. I convinced myself to kind of give up on my happiness, right? Because I was a husband, I was a father, I needed to provide. And that meant taking my career seriously, what I was doing. It was time to be joking around anymore. I was wrong. I was wrong about many things in the past, but today, the topic. I'm going to drop the link here pretty soon. Oh, let me get back to the point too. For those of you who are a part of this Talcottian adventure, I'm like you. I can't wait to see what happens next, right? Is Jack going to succeed? Is he going to fail? Is the kid going to return? What's going to happen next, right? This weekend, man. We do not know the day, we do not know the hour, but there will be a return. God's return. The return of truth and love and prosperity and health and freedom and peace. It's coming to this world soon. And we are a part of this. So today celebrates me. Today celebrates for me, it honors my son. But truly, he was such a gift for me. It transformed me forever in good ways. Because I've heard someone, another scientist or someone pointed this out. The true nature of our creation, it is perfect, right? Between the masculine and the feminine and the way everything's designed, the way life and society develops, it's all perfect, man. So the role of a man in the world, it's been distorted, right? Yeah, a man's here to to create. So a man's role is to protect the women, children around them. But many men have taken this idea that in order to protect the women and children around them, they've got to find some enemies, create some battles. And then while they're creating enemies and creating battles, justifying their part in the community or the family, uh, they fear because there's danger that we're finding. And so in fear, the man tries to control, places burdens, expectations on others. Otherwise, watch out, dad might snap. um, God, I did. I know my story's not unique in my household growing up, and unfortunately, this was the reality for my kid. Yelling at those you loved, it's how you made sure they heard you. You yell at them. We're not supposed to yell at each other. It's a breakdown in communication. So today's not only the 22nd anniversary of my role in life changing from just a punk kid to a dad. Um, on Monday, this nation in America honors the veterans. Originally, the date November 11th was set aside for armistice, peace, right? The end of wars. And then it got glorified because men in leadership couldn't figure out how to stop fighting, or they just didn't care and they saw the opportunity for profits and power. And so the wars continued for America. And today we've got a lot of combat veterans and veterans throughout the communities. But to tie these things together, in my life, I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at, my relationship with God, my relationship with life. I actually feel pretty whole and at peace. And I have a feeling I've seen forward progress. Brothers and sisters, those of you who've been a part of this adventure, you've seen the growth, that you've seen small changes. The changes are subtle, but there's been growth here. The numbers are growing. We're gaining more attention. Everything is aligning. Brothers and sisters, I trust God is going to allow the world to celebrate very soon. because there will be a revelation. There will be a realization. A revealing is happening. Mankind is going through this. It's a metamorphosis. It's an evolution. All of us uniquely, we go through these periods of growth in our consciousness. But if you believe in the ways of the world, the political systems, you let budgets and traditions control you and your life. If you're focused on the material world, you're missing the spiritual aspect of this experience. And you don't want to miss the spiritual aspects of this experience, because the energies of love, baby, man, think about it. Stop and think about it. Love? There is nothing more perfect than love. And love isn't earned. Love is offered. Love is generated. Love is nurtured. Love is cared for. Love grows. Love is life. Life is love. Yeah, sometimes love is confusing. Sometimes life is tough. Sometimes it's painful. Pain of experience brings beautiful, beautiful wisdom, strength that could never be discovered until we go through our trials and tribulations. Well, brothers and sisters, I've connected with a couple of wonderful people in the community. This morning I had a conversation with someone from my past and someone from church, the same person. And I was sharing my experience. I have, as a man, God, I've been put through the ringer, man. I've been tested. The dark night of the soul is no joke. We go through that. And I've been through it. I've been through many tests. And you know what I've learned from God, from life? The bliss of surrender. Surrender to the Almighty. Surrender to the presence of God and Christ with me as I live for God. I may get into this a little bit more. I'm kind of taking this off topic. The notes I had, it's simple, it's obvious. We live in this paradox of space and time in form. And the form is surrounded by space and time and other forms. And we perceive and are aware of change. But it's real easy for the mind to get confused. It's real easy for the memories and the memories and the rules from other people. It's real easy for those to get in the way of your purpose of living your life. I trust God created us for happiness. You follow the ways that Jesus taught about love and faith. Guess what the result is? Hello. You're happy. You're joyful. You have no worries. You have no fears. The best ally you can ever find is God. God is the truth. So align yourself with that which is true for you at all times and be honest. But humble yourself to the truth and you can escape the dual mind. You can resolve the conflicts and you can create new traditions for you that make sense for you. There's a lot of rules in society and communities. It's required. We need rules for order when there's a whole bunch of people. But the rules and the laws of man, they're a guidance system. You can let the rules be, or you can be with the rules. Choose what you do. But there's a big difference between, this was something I had previously thought of, different topic completely. With every rule, every opportunity, every choice, we can abide, we can obey, or we can defy. We're here to live our own lives, to become the greatest version that each of us can become. If we're caught up in nightmares and battles and finding enemies and problems everywhere. Yeah, it might be entertaining for a while. You might get some joy out of discovering, oh, they got problems I don't. We're so juvenile as people. So what brings up this idea of unity in duality? I listened to a lecture earlier regarding Carl Jung and I'm such a fan of his work, the shadow integration process, becoming the actualized, individualized whole being. It's actually just what Jesus was teaching, what the Bible and Christians are supposed to be knowing too. You go within you. You find the darkness within you. You don't deny it. You don't pretend that you that you don't do things. You be honest with yourself. You accept that sometimes you're tempted to do the wrong thing. Like for me, I'm breaking the patterns. I am breaking the patterns. I used to have a real problem of dropping down in my energy, willing to argue and debate friggin' anything. I used to love to argue. That's what the guy I talked to earlier said. He said I was he was a supervisor and manager, and I was the union guy. He said I was one of the most difficult ones to work with, which is not how I saw myself. But here, the key to unity in duality is stop focusing on the black and white, right? Accept seek the similarity. Seek the similarity to find the trueness, the differences, their distinctions to be aware of, but don't get confused. People are different, right? But in the same, every person is unique and different, but there is a sameness between us, right? Just like people are obviously different than dogs and cats, cows and pigs. We're obviously different, yet there is a sameness, right? We're all these mammal type beings here on Earth, sharing this time of history and the experience of this time of history in each of these different life forms. So you and I were just an aspect. We're all drops in the ocean. The ocean, the waves come up. We're just these drops in the ocean, but the entirety of the ocean, the entirety of God's power, the entirety of God's knowing, the entirety of God's love is accessible within, right? Within you. One of the lessons, here, where I'm going within this too is we are and are not, right? We are this body and we are not the body. We are the spirit and we are not the spirit. We are and we are not. So to humble yourself and to find comfort within yourself, let yourself accept the truth. Things are not always as they seem. Unforgiveness is a burden that doesn't have to be carried. It might seem impossible to forgive. It might seem impossible to understand, but that's not true, right? Because carrying around unforgiveness, that's what creates internal misery. And our internal misery is going to be shown and shared. My internal misery was visible through my habits of drinking. In hindsight, for me, it's clear and obvious. But you and I and everyone else, we are all not just, We're all on our own individual paths, uniquely created with God, through God, for God, right? I can't narrow down and point to anything specific to say this is God, but I can offer you that everything we can experience, anything that we can experience, even the things we can't experience or we don't experience, everything comes from God, the one universal source of energy and light, of energy and potentiality. Science has, mathematized it. Science has described it, but there is a unique fabric of energy from our conceivable perception that contains space and time, and it's from the emptiness of that unlimited energy, unlimited potential. It's from the space of that life and the universe has come into being. And as the studies say, Earth is in this perfect Goldilocks zone next to the star in the universe, and the moon's up there, and the moon's a mystery. We've got oceans that we don't really understand, haven't explored. We've got wars happening, poverty, suffering being spread. Why? Because mankind has been confused. It is the pursuit of material success. What that shows when you're always looking for the bank account for, like, here, an example. I'll say it, Paulie boy. Many, Paul and others, they've been judging me. I'm honest about my situation and results, but the focus on the materialistic, all that indicates is an internal lacking, because when one is focused on the material rewards, the benefit, the ego driven, it's seeking validation. So external validation is what creates celebrities and authorities, and celebrities and authorities have created punishments and wars and debts and all sorts of unimaginable horrors. True growth, what true growth is, as a man, as a woman, it's the ability, it's developing the ability to live in harmony. Simple as that. Harmony with the self, yeah, and with the unconsciousness. Another aspect of duality within us. There's many, many layers of perceptions, ways this can be explained. But within our mind, right, which the mind is where we process everything in our life, within the mind, as Jung and others have pointed out, there's the conscious part and the subconscious part. So that's another part that is the path that is the path for the shadow integration, is to bring the subconscious into the conscious, and then to consciously choose what is placed into your habitual patterns of memory. I think that makes sense. It's complicated. It can be complicated, but it can also be simple. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. And Tribe, you're such a negative critic. I really don't know why you keep returning here, my brother. For a little bit, we'll open up the conversations, and for those who wish to unite in this present moment with Jack for conversations, please do. We can talk about anything. I'll go back here a little bit. Blessings to all of you who are stopping in, who have. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. That's beautifully said. And so what makes the difference between a good servant and a bad servant? Not just the performance of the duties, but how the duties are performed. A bad servant will be resentful and care less. A good servant is one who cares about what they do. And this is where the idea, I think many of the Christians have lost sight. If we declare Jesus to be our Lord, to be the Savior, and to be our King, then we live to serve He. If we live to serve God, we live to serve the world, because God has served forth the world and all in it. How we treat each other really matters. And as far as internally, recognize this is where humility helps too. We control no others. Those who try to control others are actually foolish. The only one we can control is ourselves. But if you're a cruel master to yourself, or if you're afraid of making choices, like, oh, that reminds me, I meant to unblock Chuck. I saw his efforts yesterday, and I trust in his care. So, regarding our friend Chuck in Tennessee, he was, if you missed it in the live stream yesterday, he joined, and we didn't communicate effectively again. Excuse me. There was a reason I brought him up. No, I don't remember what it was. Snafu, excuse me, you're not actually welcome here anymore. I'll give you a brief moment, Snafu, to explain to me why.
Well, I'm going to call your son today and
Wish him happy birthday. Tell him I love him. I don't believe Snafu. He's a habitual liar, and he's clearly got ill intentions, which is what surprised me yesterday about Chuck's question. Do you think Snafu actually wants the truth? The other side? No. No. Snafu wants to punish me. Many people have wanted to punish me. And it's been fascinating to me because I don't believe I've harmed anyone. Hey, so unity in duality. I went over a lot of different perspectives on this very quickly. Okay. To be honest, my idea with these live streams is manyfold. I hope to share some ideas. I hope to be a vessel to share inspiration and encouragement with others in the best I can. The other part is I know I can do better. I know I could edit these down. I could have more clarity in what we're going to do, but I believe that this is what God wants me to do, is to live my life the best I can, right? To honor and glorify God. And my purpose is to find a way to be a part, ending wars. Ending wars is available as soon as people are willing to accept peace. Everything is possible. Thank you. I am Max. I'm not sure what's going on with some of these characters that are joining, but here's one I do appreciate, respect, and I enjoy. Welcome back, El Perro.
Greetings, Jack. You see, I'm up here as a troll, right? You believe
Yes,
it? Do you believe it?
I know you can be.
Okay. So I'm not. You don't believe that I'm a troll now. I love the thumbnail.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jack, I want to ask you a question about
Mhm.
this long game. You know, we've got this guy out there that's playing this long game, he says. So I want to ask you, Jack, and this is very serious. If you have a major part to play in ending wars, now you have that as your goal. So even if it doesn't come today, even if it doesn't come tomorrow, the next day, how many days in this long game is there? So I want to ask you, Jack, in this long game, in your goal of ending wars, if you end the war tomorrow and you die as soon as that war ends, is the game over? Have you succeeded? If you end up spending the next 30 years of your life, Jack, and then all of a sudden, finally that day comes, but you spent 30 years and that war finally ends, and then you die that very next day. Isn't that the exact same goal? So in this game of long game, I urge everybody to think again about this tortoise and the hare and having results today. Be blessed.
Hey, brother, yes, I got the message of patience in there for sure. Welcome back, Isaac. How you doing, brother?
Seriously. Doing good. Yeah.
He said more than just patience, right? It was the long game.
Yeah.
I have been learning, right? God has been showing me personally in my personal experience, not through messages or words, but by results. God is in control. And I can be anxious, I can be worried. Those are my problems. The spirit is eternal. And I want to be more like the spirit than the world. Patience is what I've been learning. And the best way to have patience is to surrender. Surrender your desires, surrender your hopes. No, I mean, that's that can be twisted, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be
Just,
hope.
more like your dreams, like your version, like the way you see it coming through. There's a better route, like than how you can even probably perceive it. So
That's
maybe how you see the hope, but like I see what you're saying, like the worldly dream, I guess. Maybe I don't. That's where I go. Something like that.
I've been learning to trust that, well, I don't yet have the results, right? I haven't manifested success or prosperity
Yeah,
or
but
all that
every
yet.
word of God is a seed planted. It doesn't go unfruitful. It's eternal. It cuts deeper than a two-edged sword. It divides soul and spirit and flesh. It affects the subconscious mind where the words of God, like whether they listening or not. It doesn't go unfruitful. That's what it said.
Well, I believe all true words
And then when they
are
need
words of
those verses
God.
you gave them in that time, they don't have any other thing in their head as an answer, but they'll find those words that you shared with them. Honestly, like that's how input works. We're like computers. Like no one's coded us correctly. So I mean, we are patient. We do this all the time. We do this every day. We reach out to people. We're not asking like snap, and kind of make it happen in magic. People have been trying to have world peace for eternity, as long as humans have been alive. We've been trying. So very patient.
If I'm right, people are willing to, if people are invited to explore what I've been saying about me, And if it turns out that I'm right about me, well, then that's what God has created me to do, was to be a messenger for the truth of God's love in front of Congress and the other leaders of the world so that the world might know peace. And I think I know Donald Trump is a part of the story. We are all a part of this story, God's story, the story of time and man. What are we going to do? I know what I'm trying to do. I know what I'm offering to people. What I don't know is how to be different than I am. See, that's been part of my problem, is that I've encountered a lot of people who want me to be different than I am. There's a whole list of online people, lots of people in the past, but I feel at peace. I mean, I've made the claim that despite doubts and my, it's more confirmation of what I was talking about earlier. Things are and are not. Things are not always as they seem, but the egoic pride doesn't want to allow room for doubt, because if things aren't as they seem, well, I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong,
That crushes a reality's concept, and they have to rebuild.
well,
They don't like doing that.
that's exactly what I've been facing
Yeah.
in my community and online. But
It's statistically a fact that awakening for some reason to a higher level of conscious, for some reason, I can't put it into words. It's like they hated Christ, they're gonna hate us, kind of thing. I, that's how I see it. Like, it's statistically gonna happen. He told us it's gonna happen. So I was like, okay, it's part of his plan. And I would say also what did I have? Simple. But yeah, I don't know. Like, we would think that people in Congress would kind of understand the stuff or have heard it, and maybe, I don't know. It feels like they know and they denied it more than they want to than they want to follow. But maybe they've never heard it in the right way. No.
that's
So,
what
like,
I've
I would say it seems like they're up in the higher powers. Like, you would think that they could get that message, but maybe not. Yeah.
I trust that most people, even those in Congress, I trust there's similarities between us. You know, many of them have families, right? We are human beings all sharing this time of history. And what I actually trust is that no, they don't know what they're doing. Many of them are pretty proud. Like these political systems, criminal systems, are built to create egos, defend egos, and to punish egos. It's evil. It's a nonsense game that,
It's a
well,
three-dimensional perspective of, like, natural law, but really, I don't know. I think natural law, something we're overlooking, is harmony. Harmony seems to find its way in everything. Why haven't we found it? The planets orbit in
it's
harmony, basically.
it's been denied. Man, the society is out of balance, right? And really, this idea just came. The topic, unity in duality. It is divided. We accept there's divisions within us, around us. There's differences. Those differences are divisions to some degree, but we don't have to allow those to matter, right? Balance means uniting. And this is what I believe God's plan is for us. What I'm hoping to be a part of is we bring the right ideas, the right people together. We unite as people overcoming authority and wealth, and we work together towards the common goals: peace
Yeah.
on earth, setting the truth free. Because when knowledge is freely shared, the people won't be stupid,
Yeah,
right?
there's not the what'd you say that word, to unite for a greater, like the greater purpose. We have so much
Mhm.
side energy that if we were looking at a body, we'd be like, oh, that is taking this energy and it's doing shit to it. Oh, we gotta take this out. We gotta take this out. We're not focusing on healing the body. And we have all this extra stuff and we're like supplying it like fashion or media or the newest car coming out or the newest tank. Like that's a lot of resources and a lot of money and a lot of time. And it's going backwards downhill. Like this is we're not taking steps forward like on that egoic level. We're getting smarter, but if we don't apply it right, just like Atlantis, they talked about, they got so smart it wiped them out. It's like, you live by knowledge, you'll die by it. It's in the Bible.
We're at this point. There's so many people screaming in the wilderness saying, hey, these things are, there's fires happening, there's issues we got to deal with, the development of AI, the international political climates, the threats of nuclear devastation, the threats of economic collapse, the threats. People are threatening people. The systems have divided us. The legality, it's the same tactic in many disguise. Praise God. God is so amazing. We are so blessed to be alive. Not just to be alive, but to be alive right now at this time on earth. We are so blessed. This is the awakening. It's happening here today on earth. This time it's happening. What does the awakening mean? It means we awaken from our dreams of division. We actually stop fighting one another for power, for control, for revenge, for whatever. We stop fighting so we can cooperate.
Yeah, it's very selfish the way we're acting in the world right now. It's not benefiting our future generations. It's very selfish to be egoic like this. It's solely for the individual or like maybe the five people in the company or you kind of know what I'm saying. It's we don't see it as selfishness. We see it as a prideful thing, and it seems backwards. Like you would think, oh, this guy's hoarding a bunch of this. This guy's running all these businesses, part of this corporation, and in his eyes, he's probably doing amazing. But it is selfish on a spiritual level when the world is being sucked dry of hope and resources. Like, because it's like if there's cancer in the body, and eventually the cancer just takes in everything and destroys everything. It's like that's how I see these big old entities working through money and through media and through subconscious control. Like I know it's power, I know it's deep and it hurts, but that's what I've seen. I've studied this
It's
for like a very long time in my head, and it's affected me. So I had to get around it, and then after I got out of it, I could see it better. I was totally, I don't know, like it's so subtle, the subconscious mind, that it doesn't seem as powerful as what I just said, but it's so powerful what they can do to your subconscious mind. So that's how it works. It's not even money.
what God can do within us is miraculous. And what God can do through us can be miraculous. But if we don't trust God, we don't trust that we can experience miracles, what are we going to find? We're going to find reasons why we can't. We're going to find excuses. So, Isaac, yes, the evidence is clear. People don't like what I'm saying. Many people say, no, Jack, you're wrong. We've got to have money. We've got to have the army.
For a
Bunch of,
certain amount of time, I would agree. Like until it's played out. Yes.
well, this is the
But I
point.
know you see beyond that, what you're saying.
It
I
has
believe
played
that
out.
too. I used to believe this when I was like 19, 20, 21. I
Well,
just
we're here.
stopped thinking about it.
We're here. I am committed. Here's where we're at. I don't know anything more than what I've experienced, right? I don't claim to know the future. But what I do know is my real life is what it is. I thought I was a good man. I thought I was doing all the right things for my family, for the community, for the places I work. I thought I was doing right. Turned out I was wrong because I was miserable. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I was trying to drink myself to death. I hated life.
Mm.
And so God allowed my world to change. My experience, my life transformed. I've been put through the ringer. I've been tested over the last 6 years. I've been studying, growing, and learning. And I believe I say this with humility, and I don't imagine it being only me, because my whole point is we work together. But I believe that through my studies and experience, God has prepared me to be a leader. And my prayer is to get in front of the men and women of Congress. We'll bring in the newly elected and the old. We don't have to wait until the swearing in. We can start doing the work today, immediately. I want to help lead the men and women in Congress into immediate reforms for America, and then we can lead the rest of the world to peace and reforms as well. It's possible. I think this is what God wants us to do.
Yeah. I think some sort of understanding, some sort of like, if they make a peace deal, the egoic mind is going to need a backbone, right? They're gonna have to back on something, or they're not gonna be able to stand on a new flesh. They would need like some sort
It's-
of offering, like you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna offer this to your community. You understand kind of what I'm saying, right? They're not gonna accept it right away. They're people
Why
that
don't why
believe
don't we
in war.
why don't we why don't we try and figure out how to get in front of them,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
then
guess
we'll
Christ
find
is the
out.
offering. Yeah, that's what it is.
Let's find out
But
what they
I would
do.
think it would help at least. I don't know. I don't know if it might be too much, but you kind of see why the world is controlled by. I don't know. You'd have to kind of put a stepping stone almost to a whole nation that is like against, like, say, a Christian or something, like, the really hardcore whatever. Like, if we came to them with peace, do you think they would just okay, or would we have to show them? Like, I don't know, because I'm just wondering, what would be something like, I don't know. Does that make sense, or is that way too far?
I think you kind of confused yourself.
Maybe I don't know, because I know there are people that in their text it's like they're against us, right? They think we're like the bad ones, so
Right.
maybe they just think we're the bad ones.
This is what I've realized. The world is full of men and women who believe in lies. They
That's what
believe
the
that
devil is.
others, right? People without money think that people with money, and I'm generalizing here. I realize it's not all people like this, but a lot of people without money have these opinions that those with money are just selfish and cruel and they got no care. Well, and then there's some of the wealthy people who see the poor people as worthless and, just where they call them, yeah, worthless breeders, so until mankind stops lying to each other, they'll find excuses for wars. And this is the thing. Wars are literally happening today because of lies, because people believe in lies.
Yeah,
Netanyahu and much of his party believe that the people who live next door to them are not actually human. And brothers and sisters, we are living through a time right now. World War II had its atrocities. There was atrocities in Vietnam. There are some disgusting things happening in this world right now. And I don't believe we are helpless to do anything. I believe God sent us to the world to lead those in darkness into the light. By God's grace, God allowed me to find my path to a spiritual path. This is why I want to be one of the voices that Donald Trump may hear, that the men and women of Congress want to hear. Let's lead the world into honesty. Humility is the key. This is what I know cured me. To stop my battles, to stop my fears and my worries and my bad feelings, God allowed me to learn how to surrender. I know, here, you might appreciate this. Isaac, have you come across A Course in Miracles yet?
It doesn't ring a bell.
It's a spiritual teaching that I truly do admire. As I understand, it was a channeled message. It's continuation of conversations with Jesus. A Course in Miracles, the way of Christ, reveals the miracles of love. So the lesson today that struck me, it's a thought I've accepted and found for myself a while ago. God is my life. I have no life but his. And if you stop and think about it, it's true. God is my life. I have no life but his. I was mistaken when I thought I lived apart from God, a separate entity that moved in isolation, unattached and housed within a body. Now I know my life is God's. I have no other home, and I do not exist apart from him. He has no thoughts that are not part of me, and I have none but those which are of him. Our Father, let us see the face of Christ instead of our mistakes. For we who are your holy Son are sinless. We would look upon our sinlessness, for guilt proclaims that we are not your Son. And would we forget you longer? We are lonely here and long for heaven, where we are at home. Today we would return. Our name is yours, and we acknowledge that we are your Son. We do not live apart from God. We can believe we are apart from God, that God is some distant, judgmental, punishing being. We can live in fear and separation, or humble ourselves and unite. Because God is, yeah.
So like, I got it. No. I had like two sentences that were went with it. I always lose it.
Hey, it's
My bad.
when it returns. This might be true. Solipsism. I think that's the word for God is everything. I think that is, I guess that's what I'm pointing at. The true essence and spirit of God is life. I mean, for us to know or describe, point at, and life and light is within everything. There's an energetic quality and an intelligence within every bit of our design. Here I have a true critic, but one I truly hope to find peace with. Tommy,
Don't you mean true Christian?
how are we today?
You can't say we. I'm not part of you at all.
Right.
You're
you
still
believe-
fronting that
You joined
Oprah
our
book
body.
club
You want to
bullshit.
infiltrate our mind for some reason.
I'm not talking to you, MK Ultra.
No,
Okay,
he's
good
right.
answer.
Did you hear what he said? You joined in body, but you seem to want to be separated in mind.
We're not here in body. This is panel verse. And this
Well, it
is
works in the
where
Tom. Okay,
spiritual
in our
Tom.
warfare is
frequency.
100 times
We have
multiplied
Tom.
because
harmony,
we're not
and you
body.
brought chaos
Are you
already.
gonna let your boy?
Tommy, have a good afternoon.
Like if he came in and just talked normally, I wouldn't have to like pop off and say stupid stuff I didn't mean to say.
No, it's fine.
It's like, oh, they infiltrated. Like I'm in defense mode now. It's like I was
well,
in peace, we were chilling, and I hear yelling and stuff.
Isaac,
Similar.
this is the public part of my life. It's been fascinating. I've been tested, and I know people like the angry cot, and I know I say some funny things when I'm ticked. I say some rude things when I'm ticked. But Nude Guru, blessings to you, my friend. I went back and reflected and looked at your comments in the chat, and you were right. I mean, we always have room to improve, and I know I have been improving online. Isaac, to tie us back to something you brought up earlier about
I
God
remember what I was gonna say too.
Please go ahead.
I was gonna say so. Yes, you cannot actually be separated from God, like in His presence. It holds us together. It is the spirit inside of us keeps us alive. But however, the mind can be separated from God, and that's what sin is. I believe sin is something that happened that allowed your mind to get disconnected from God. So now you don't think you're connected anymore, but really, it's the lie inside your head. That's the devil. Like he's a lie. The devil is a lie.
I
So
love
that's what I
that.
got.
That's actually right in line with that Course in Miracles and the many different teachings that I've found. But truly, think about this in the biggest concept, simplify it out the most, especially if you call yourself a Christian. The infinite God, the Father of all creation, time, earth, the universe, it came into form and being as a man. And it offered very clear guidance. The commandments were love one another, forgive, right? It's not that difficult. And yet, people make it very difficult. Here's the point I was going to, right? If God gave the simple instruction that love is the way, those who defy and deny love, hello, you're insane. I was insane. I used to ignore love. I used to make it probably pretty tough for people to love me. And that's what I see a lot of people here doing. Tommy's returned. He's one of those that makes it challenging to love. And I don't want him to be, I don't, Tom, I don't, when your behavior is addressed, it's not to put you down, it's to help you see that an opportunity for change is available.
Projection.
Okay? Or factual.
No, you sit here day after day talking like you're the Neo of God, and you can't have a civil conversation that shows you're wrong.
Was the
And
Holy Spirit
all
not
this
with them?
time, all you had to do was just say your New Age garbage.
Tom, just because you want to diminish me
You can't.
doesn't mean I have to accept that.
I don't hear
And
new age randomness. I hear like concise thought through the heart of God. I don't. What is this new age you're talking about? Tommy, I
well,
mean, like what does he mean, new age? Yeah.
it's the if you could in general terms, it's the dogma of religion, right? Anything that's not in line with the church. And Tommy professes that I'm the
Oh, whoa.
And
That's backwards. 90% of the time.
it's the religious doctrine. It feeds the ego for people. And actually, it's interesting. I have to look at myself for sure, right, to make sure I'm not becoming this. But interestingly enough, three videos I found this morning were regarding the topic of consciousness and ego, but they were about spiritual ego. People find information. God allows a bit of an awakening. People realize that they are connected in different ways, or they learn the right words. But then they get this idea that they're somehow above others. And that's where these religion wars are coming in, is people have found the beliefs that they're somehow above others. And if you look at the history, first the Jewish people said they were the chosen ones. And in a way, they certainly were. Well, now the Christians, many of the Christians have taken that place, kicked the Jews out, and said, no, we're the chosen ones. Only us are being saved. Only us are going to heaven. Kind of misses the point. God's love is true for all of us.
Yeah. I would imagine the conscious and conscience, like awakening that we would have when, God gives it to us, it would just blow all that out of the water. We would see it all so clearly.
Hey,
Sorry.
I muted you as he was still talking.
Oh,
Welcome.
sorry. I tried to mute myself while I was clearing my throat, but I guess I unmuted myself to clear my throat there.
No
What's up,
worries.
guys?
Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm playing my new PlayStation, so I'm pretty happy.
Whoa, which one?
PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yo, what? They have a new release with it?
No, that's
Not yet.
nope. Nothing new for it. It's just a kind of standalone upgrade to the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I heard there's like 20 of them coming out. They're pretty high quality that can only run on it, hopefully.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of good games coming out. It's gonna be amazing. 4K, 60 frames, I think 120 frames or some shit. 8K movie play, I think. And video game play, but it's not there yet. The games aren't there yet.
Sweet, man. Sounds good. Happy for you.
There's some cool technologies and some real neat advancements that have been made. I mean, my life, I'm telling you, my life has been similar to others, but quite unique. I was born in 73, so like many others, before the internet age, before the cell phones and all that stuff. But when I was young, my parents were my stepfather, he was aware. He knew the corruption of the government way back when. And while I didn't understand what was happening when I was growing up, we were poor, but we were homesteading. That's what my parents were doing. So in my life, I grew up with the outhouse and lived in a place without running water, without electricity for a while. We lived in the boonies, man. So my life has been like this transition, and it's real easy for us in today's age with all of the entertainment, all of the distractions, constant media and stuff going on. It's real easy for us to lose sight of, holy shit, I'm alive. I'm alive, and the earth is alive, and I can do anything I want.
It's a very powerful tool, right? And I grew up similar a little bit. I grew up without the internet and like without smartphones. So we didn't have dial-up because so slow and we didn't want it.
How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 29.
29?
Yeah, so we got smartphones in freshman year, middle school.
That's cool.
So I got half and half. So we used to knock on our friends' doors and it was always normal, like friendly. Now it's like you should have texted me, bro. Like,
Right.
it's weird. So it changed our world, and I think it would have been a very positive thing. But then power stepped in and used it like they would use any resource to influence and harvest. Basically, I mean,
Our
it's very far out, but we
our
found it in
friend.
this world. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
we found it in this world when there's a valuable resource and make it a human, and they find it easily controllable. Like they could do it. It's a science.
It is our friend the Machine Lies. For those who have seen, he's visited this before in another YouTube channel, but he goes quite a bit in depth as to how man has developed technology and how technology has developed influenced man. The two are interchanged, right? There's the world influences us and we influence the world. This is the key. The other part to what Isaac brought up is as these technologies advanced, we're at a point right now where it's time for the people to start paying attention to what's going on, right? Because technology is advanced behind these non-disclosure agreements, corporate agreements, government contracts. The government in America has been openly, legally using corporations, uniting the corporate and the state power together. That truly leads to is a form of fascism. So the life I'm living, I am a man of peace, nonviolent evolution is our path. But the way of Jesus, he stood for what was natural, what was true. He spoke against the oppressive and divisive religions. Well, he didn't speak against that. I do. He stood against the state. Hey, we have an all-star gracing us, and I hope the past battles have been resolved. Welcome, Brother Provo. Wait, is that Provo? Or is that an imposter?
It's me, Provo. I got autism. Don't talk about it.
I think it's an imposter.
Be careful, my bombing.
That
No,
sounded like the Provo I know.
he didn't speak.
Unless he didn't know he was muted, that could be the problem.
Oh yeah, because he has autism. He wouldn't even know if he was muted, bro. He's tripping.
No, in the back you can see the
He doesn't have autism.
authentication.
He's just hella smart.
In the back, I can see the authentication, and it was not Provo.
Oh, cool. Yeah, good looking.
I can't remember who it was though. I mean, I know the name. I just can't remember who that name is identified to.
Yeah, if you ban people, it'll show.
Are you there?
Just show us the porno. Come
Are
on.
you there?
Am I autistic or am I insane, Wacky Jackie? Am I a psychopath, Jackie?
Is that what he sounds like? I don't know.
No.
Oh, okay. Who was that then?
It's an imposter revealing himself. He was revealing himself in what he asked. Might be a bit of a psychopath as an imposter of our friend Provo.
I mean, I guess very immaturity would be kind of fun, maybe.
Hey, actually, this real life experience online, it is a real part of our lives.
Yeah.
It's actually.
I look like a monster.
What?
I look so bad today.
No, you
back
look
off.
human, man.
I'm going
You
back
look
off
like a
camera.
human, dude.
Look, it looked
Nah,
like
be
a
confident,
disheveled,
man.
tired human with back.
Every human is
sensitive
unique. You don't look like not a human or something.
eyes. Whatever.
We're all
Fix your hat, yeah, hippie.
I'm just saying. You don't know how to trip on that. We're not worried about that.
What kind of drugs you on, man?
Like, you know, every human,
I want
Amazing.
whatever drugs you're on, bro. You're on that good shit. What are you doing?
the
What
spirit
you
of God, man.
You rolling?
Changes
You
your heart,
rolling?
changes your mind. Get in tune with the spirit, man. I'm serious though. Like, as funny as that sounded, like God can transform your mind, and it's beautiful. hard to-
Jack, how are we gonna contact your son today?
I don't know.
You got his number? Give me his number. I'll call him.
I don't think that's a move.
Hey, shut up. Mind your own business, Isaac. I'm working
I'm
with
not
God.
being rude. I just don't think that's the move. Like, it would be very random.
Hey, what did I
think about
just
it.
say? What did I just say? Shut the fuck up, Isaac. I'm
Okay,
trying to
I was
help
being
Jack.
nice about it. I'm just saying I
Isaac,
think
Isaac,
it's a better approach.
Isaac, let it go,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. I was just,
Mm.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I mean,
I know,
that's what I meant.
I know, and neither was Banana.
I
He
was
wasn't to be rude either.
I was trying to be a little bit rude.
Oh, were you?
I was trying to
All
be
right.
To Isaac though. To Isaac.
Oh, okay. Hey,
No. I
also-
definitely I certainly will. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I just think, it's just.
Oh, Tommy's still here. Oh shit. Can I ask Tommy a question?
Sure.
I do too. I want to ask
I
Tommy a
don't-
question.
Why don't you guys wait until he opens his panel up and join him?
Cool.
And
I didn't know. Okay.
Nah, I didn't know he had a show. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You better hope he
I'd
don't
like
start
to wonder
streaming when
what-
you start streaming.
What the difference is and why he doesn't get it. Or not get it. Sorry, get us. I would like to have a conversation one day and see like what am I doing wrong and why, like, can I fix it, or do you have something to help me, or I don't know. I'd be down to totally hear it.
I could help you.
But not here, yeah. Because every time it's
definitely not here.
maybe there would be better.
well, I would like to unite back to here and now, right?
Yeah, thank you.
The idea. I actually appreciate the inquiry. Welcome, Mike.
Well, I know that's what today's about. Is his birthday? I believe you said 22, right? Something like that.
Jack, Isaac, salute. Lord, Ham Banana.
Hey, Mike. What up?
What's up?
We're getting along again, Jack.
That's it. Jack, you have two legends here. So let's talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm not going to overtalk anybody. I'm sorry. Isaac, nice to meet you. I've never met you before.
Yeah, dude. Great heart, great words, man.
You got a sweet beard, though. You got a sweet beard. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Does your beard ever get caught in like car doors when you come in and out of a car? Does your beard get caught in the car door?
We're going off on a tangent, you guys.
Too off topic.
You guys.
I was gonna say too much. Yeah, I get it. It's kind of funny, but no, it's cool. Another time.
It's all good. So what?
Nice to meet you, bro.
Jack,
Thanks for trying to connect and everything.
It's all good. So Jack, what is your topic tonight? What do you want to focus on tonight? Like what is on your mind, Jack?
Well, it's about an hour in already.
Yeah.
The topic originally was unity, becoming whole within duality, becoming whole with the experience. And right before you joined, Banana asked, he brought up the thumbnail today it is 22 years ago, I got to become a dad, right? And at the beginning, I didn't explain this clearly, I think, but there's evidence that shows that part of the human development, whether we recognize it or not, the selfless giving, the compassion of a mother to give of herself in that infant stage, we are receiving that. Now, not everyone gets the most compassionate upbringing. Not everyone gets the most attentive or good care when they grow up. But that nature of compassion and care is within all of us. And I do think that's why God designed us this way, is that when man unites with a partner, the woman, the child, they actually soften us so that we become less dicks. And
No, Jack, it's perfectly said. I'm gonna cut you off, but it's perfectly said because I have two sons and I have one relationship with my one son's mother, which was very, very intimate, very close, 11 something years. And I have another son where it's like no communication. So you're right. The nurturing, I think, really helps with the relationship of the child and the psychology of the child. If you're not connected, I think it does take away from, the experience. If that makes sense to you, Jack. I mean, I
that's,
just think what
yeah, what you're saying, it's actually confirmed through studies. Trauma, childhood trauma. That's the most often creation of trauma, is when a child doesn't feel that compassion, when there's a pain or a something happening, and when a human lacks someone they can go to, that's what happened with me, and I'm sure many others. Something happened when I was young. I felt I could no longer trust my mom, my dad. I felt alone in the world. And that's how I lived my life, was alone in the world, untrusting. And the past 6 years, since my son last saw me, he has no clue. I honestly don't know what's happening. I don't know why people have not been able to remember any of the good of me. I was just thrown away. So
I got a question, Jack, about that time era again. Did you cheat on your wife?
No, she ended up.
Does she believe you did though?
No.
Okay, so go ahead and she ended up.
Well, yeah, early in we were together a number of years. Then we got married. Then we had our son.
Mm-hmm.
Then we tried for another child and had like a late term. It was about halfway in, and then there was a miscarriage.
Okay.
Shortly after that, she was clearly suffering from depression, and I couldn't convince her to get help, and I didn't know how to help her. I was confused. She found comfort with another man before our son was 3.
Oh,
so
dang.
she ended up marrying that man, and he became our son's stepfather.
Ever since then?
Yeah.
Damn. So like that picture when you're with him when he's a little bit older, like what was that?
That was on the weekend.
Oh, okay. And then why did the weekend visits stop then? Like I don't what happened there? Why did those stop?
That's the answer I'm trying to find myself.
Oh,
I got yelled at. I got shoved by the stepfather. I got the police called on me when I tried to show up and talk to people. I've been treated as though I'm dangerous, and I've been claiming I am not.
Does the stepfather own a gun?
Yep.
What kind?
I think real quick, Banana and Jack.
Is it like a handgun, or is it a shotgun, or an assault rifle, or like an AR?
I think the biggest thing. In relationships.
Trying to help you, Jack. You need to answer these questions.
No, I wanted to say. I'll wait.
Actually, please, no, Banana. I don't. That's a thought you asked, but I certainly don't see how my opinion or recollection of what another household has as far as their gun ownership, I don't see any relevance. So please, Mike, what were you trying to get to?
I think the most basis of like it's so people always say like if you have a stepchild or if you have a child out of wedlock or if you have a child that you hate the mother, it affects the child because you have that resentment against the child. Now you don't mean to do it, but it's underlying resentment. So what I'm trying to say, Jack, is that I love my other son's mother. I mean, I would give my life for her. I would, no doubt. But the other one, I don't feel that love for. I've never been in love with her. And I think sometimes it translate into the relationship with the child. I think it translates. So I think that if you have resentment towards the mother, sometimes it can pass down to
Hey, Mike.
coldness to the child.
Sure. Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
learned those lessons.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, I'm not sure that it has any.
No, that's my
Thank you for,
experience.
I know.
Just mine. That's
Thank
just
you.
my experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand how our minds work. I understand psychological projection. I also actually understand emotional healing very well. And that's what I'm actually trying to do. I know it's not healthy to carry unfulfilled.
Jack, let me ask you this. I want to ask you an honest question. I want to ask you because I was thinking about our conversation. I was out of line, and I do apologize. I do. I was out of line. I was rebelling. I'm not lying to you because you were pressing me, and I was rebelling against your questions. But Jack, I don't know how to heal. I don't know how to change.
I'll wait.
I don't know how. I'm not trolling. I'm just saying I don't know how to let go of all that anger that I have.
This is my Jack picture I drew a while back.
It looks just like him.
Dude,
and Jack, I'm being honest with you.
Is
man.
that the cyborg guy?
I'm an angry person, and it's like I don't know how to let go of my past experiences, my past trauma. I don't know how to do it. I'm not messing with you, dude. I'm not.
Jack, I'll bet you $20 Mike can't go the rest of the stream without self-referencing.
I bet that too. I will bet you 40.
I'm asking Jack a question. How do I break the?
You said
How do I break it? How do I change? How do I change?
That was the quickest bet ever.
Hold on.
Flow state, shut up.
Here, hold on. Flo just joined, and I don't want to.
No. We're good. We joke back and forth.
The question, Mike, for you: do you want to know?
Yes, I do.
Well, let me point this out. Many people think they want to know how to heal, but the trauma, the stories, it's become their identity. They don't want to put those down because then they lose out on, the sympathy or the whatever it is. So if you really want to know, you already do know, and I'll show you where you're doing it.
Yeah.
But anger is a part of our lives. Anger has been my biggest issue. I mean, the reason people avoid me is because it blows my mind they couldn't figure this out for themselves. But as my family and my career were crumbling, the people who came into my life and didn't understand, I yelled at them. I was a little desperate. I saw everything falling apart. Everything I worked my whole life for was going away, and no one seemed to care. So I got the reputation of being always angry, when in fact, no. I used to be angry until I found God. Now, the more I've been aligning myself with love and God, life, I still find anger, and that's part of my, public life online. People have brought me plenty of tests. I'm still working to overcome my anger, but I'm not angry at any people anymore. I'm frustrated at what's that?
Just at God.
No, not even at God. I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. What's
Jack,
that?
I think one thing that me and you have in common is we're consistent. We don't give up. You don't give up on people. I don't give up on people. And I think that's one of your strongest. One of your strongest qualities is you don't give up. Like you continue to try to help. And I think I'm giving you a compliment. I think you are consistent.
Thank you.
In your message. I'm not, dude. I'm not trolling. I'm telling you, you're very consistent.
I appreciate
and people fight it. People fight the message because they don't want to see the truth in themselves, Jack. They don't want to see you know, what's going on inside themselves. They want to fight it, and they want to deflect it, and they want to make believe it's not happening.
Hey, Mike.
And
Can we unpack Mike's childhood sometime and figure out
that's
what
okay.
made him this way?
That's what I play.
No, let's do,
I'm
I think that
curious.
sounds like fun.
That is fun, dude. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Dude, Jack,
Yeah,
can we do
but I
that,
think-
Jack?
But I
No?
think Jack,
Aw.
I think that
Maybe.
you take a very even keeled exposure
I
method.
think you should quit talking, Mike, because Jack's getting pissed.
He's not
No,
getting pissed.
but Mike, what I'd like you to consider is where you said they. You were describing yourself, your own inner battle. You've been unwilling to set things down. Now you're assuming everyone else is just like that.
Mhm.
See, I get a lot of people assuming I'm just like them, and I've done the inner work. I've been focusing on healing and studying and practicing a lot of different things. So,
Massage.
hey, healing is healing, and what feels good feels good. And
Yeah.
That's what I said. Then they kicked me out of rehab.
I've never been to rehab, so I can't assimilate with that. But I've never been to rehab. But I mean,
Nobody
I'm
was
glad-
curious if Mike had been to rehab.
I've never been to rehab. No,
I am curious
never-
about
I
Mike's
never-
childhood, though, but Jack is doing an irritated fingers at us.
Well, and please don't talk about my childhood. Please don't talk about people's.
We want
kids
you
and
to
stuff.
talk about
Please
your
don't-
childhood
just
sometime.
Please
Not
don't go there. Please don't go there. Please don't go there. I'm asking you nicely. Please don't go there.
God, it sounds so fun.
well,
Yeah.
what I'd
I mean,
encourage you to do, Mike, is sincerely go back and listen to some of the words you've said about others and
Right.
see how that's applying to you.
Well, it's
'Cause-
trolling. It's trolling. It's
I
not
didn't
real.
ask.
It's
No.
fictitious. It's not
No,
real.
Mike, right. You keep saying that, but
Yeah.
you're still in real life revealing your inner character. And it's
Right.
up to you. You got to figure out what is true, what is real. But
So, Jack, can you ever really know yourself? Like, if
Yes.
can you ever really know who you
Mike,
are?
does that? Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Okay. That's something I touched on earlier today. Things are and they are not. Things are tough, they're not tough. Things are complicated, they're not. You know, things appear to last, they don't. You know, it's life.
Sure.
So can one know themselves? Not if they don't look.
Mm.
Most people are embarrassed to look. Or, Mike, I don't know details. I don't know anything about, and what you said was reasonable, especially given the timing and my response. But
Mhm.
if you got things in your past you don't want to look at, that's the first place to look.
Mhm. Mhm. So you think that looking at your past experiences, your past mistakes, you learned how to be better going forward?
It's the only way to learn, through experience. Each day we learn, right, from others and information and experience. The worldly ways has us living in survival, frantic, going from one thing to the next, reactive, just being told what to do and not really thinking. The path to understanding, it's simple and obvious.
Mm.
You must consider. And if you never pause to consider what you learned or what you did in the day, you may not gain as much as you can. And if we don't reflect on ourselves, what we say, what we do, if we don't ask ourselves and offer some doubt, am I right in what I say, what I
Right.
do?
And
We're
what,
ignoring.
Jack, you know what's crazy? I've done things that I so regret, but I've done things that were so right. So how does it balance?
You know,
And
when
how
you
does
said that, I just thought of that model that was up here the other day. Doing things you regret, but balance. It was
Dude,
based.
Jack, Jack, I've helped people out like you wouldn't believe. I took people in my home that didn't have somewhere to live. Like I don't
The
even
Luma
know.
Tommy's going to need a place soon. Where you at?
But then I've done things that were egregious, Jack. Egregious. I shouldn't have done those things, and it was vanity.
So are you
It
helping?
was-
Are you still offering help to people?
yes, we volunteer.
Okay.
We have
What-
a group that we volunteer at
Well,
homeless
what kind of
shelters.
help could you offer to somebody like Jack or myself?
To you, probably nothing because I know you're a character. But
What about
I think,
Jack? Well,
I think
I'm
I
a
think
character
Jack
in a
is,
sense, but this is really me. Like,
yeah, it's all good. You're a character. Character is not a bad thing. A character is somebody who
I'm not okay.
entertains. You
Right.
entertain people. But what,
Do you
what
have any
Jack
money
is
for
doing
Jack
is-
then?
That's okay. No, it's all right. So what Jack is attempting to do is to basically educate people on a level that doesn't
Are you
infuriate
interested
them.
in buying a coaching session?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Well, then you're taking up an awful lot of the time and attention
I'll-
of the
well,
panel.
okay, I'll
If you're not a
address- I'll
prospective
address-
customer.
Go ahead.
Do
No,
people
no,
pay,
hey, listen,
do people
listen,
pay for
Griff,
coaching sessions here?
it's all right.
Yes.
Hey, Griff, yeah.
Who's the sucker
Yeah,
that
That's
paid?
private. That's
Yeah, no, it's
private.
all
You
good.
wouldn't want your coaching shit put on display, would you?
No, because
I mean, I would be very open and honest as they.
Did you
Well,
know
maybe
his
you would
real
like to
name?
buy a coaching session.
You know his real name is
Mike,
Griff,
can you
the
pipe
same
down?
as Griffster. It's Griffster.
I buy things on the
You
internet.
grift. You grifted.
You don't buy
That's
things
what
on
you
the
do.
internet?
No, not doing Amazon.
Oh, well,
Grifter.
all right.
You don't need to interrupt and keep casting opinions over and over, Mike. Okay? This is
They-
just unbelievable.
They should make an app that counts our words and an app that counts how long we're talking for. That'd be awesome to see that at the end. It'd be like, well, Mike said 3,000 words and talked for 30 minutes and at like 32-minute count.
I think it's constructive, and I think the message is basically just trying to be, Jack. I think the message is trying to be a better person, try to be more accepting, and just
Hey,
try
you
to
know it all, Mike. You know it all.
Tell him
You
to
should
shut
go
up,
start
Jack.
a channel, and you should go tell everyone what you know. You've got all the answers, dude.
I do.
You really need to buy a coaching session, Mike.
No
Actually,
thanks.
Mike, tell you what, Mike, without charge, if you're serious about wanting to change, I believe you've got room to change. And I know that many others would agree. And I'm not going to opinions for validation. I know there's other experiences that confirm my experience with you, Mike. You're a good dude. But your patterns of communication, your self-focus, it's a distraction and it's an irritant, to be honest.
I got a question. So, are you willing to change at all, Jack, for any, like, if we have something that seems reasonable or good, are you willing to get on board with the idea or no? Like, you're just not going to accept any change? Because I heard that I heard how you yelled at Chuck, like, you're trying to change my point of, well, get the fuck out of Dodge, you know? And I was thinking, like, are you just not willing to accept any criticism,
Banana.
even if it is constructive?
Banana,
Yes.
I've received and I've listened to much criticism.
Okay. But how has any of it
Right.
changed you?
I've changed
Okay.
considerably.
That's good then. Yeah. So the answer is yes. You're willing and
Yes.
to change on good things that you like.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay,
trying to find others who might be willing to do the same.
Hey, I'm making changes. I don't know if you noticed. I've been more polite than I was.
I
So,
know.
Wasn't it Banana? Wasn't that a Tupac song? Changes.
Yeah.
Tupac. Yo, changes. Jack,
Yo,
your message-
changes. That's not how it goes.
Your message.
Yo, changes.
to give Jack some of his kudos, he does have a good message, and he does try to help people figure out what's going on within themselves, and that is a healthy thing. That's a
Do
very
you understand why I'm doing it, Mike?
I do, because it's a message. It's a message.
Yeah,
Right.
like I
Is it
see no
for me?
changes, and sometimes I wake up in the morning thinking, "Is life worth living? Should I blast myself?" You know.
Changes.
No,
You
yo,
guys.
Flow State, you got a skull cap on, dude? Dude, are you African American? Come on, man. Come on, stop. Oh,
But I do have my
oh
black card.
That's it, man. That's it.
It's been
Yeah, man.
authenticated by Resto, Chesto, and Triggerman TV. So
That's it. So Flo said, do you love me? Do you love me, dude? Come on, just be honest. Just be honest.
Whoa.
I think I'm going to be withholding. I know that you want the love, but you get none here. You got to work
Well, I
harder
love
for that
Banana.
shit.
Banana's my man. Banana's my boy. He's my man. So I
Oh
love
yeah,
him.
we cool. Me and Mike cool.
Yeah, we cool.
Banana, you got to be withholding. He craves affection, so don't give it to him.
I don't crave affection. I don't. Actually, believe it or not, I'm very reclusive. Like, I don't need that. The only love I need is from my children. That's it. Like, I love my sons and stuff like that. But like,
Hey,
other
Banana,
than
are you
that-
listening to this? I'm not listening to it either.
I got a little distracted on reclusive, and then I thought of like hermit crabs for some reason. I started thinking of me and Mike as hermit crabs, and then I heard
So
I
Flo-
love my son, and then
So
Banana.
Flow State, just Flow State, beg for some more money tonight, and you'll be all right. You'll be good to go. You'll have your rent paid.
Flow State, do you make money? Like, how much do you make a month? On YouTube, not in real life. On YouTube,
About $15,000.
That's a good amount.
It was a
No,
lot.
you don't.
That's
don't.
a lot of money.
That was
You
a
don't
lot.
make that. Don't lie.
No further questions, sir.
Jack is very upset right now because Jack wants 15 grand right now.
Dude, Jack's
you
pissed about that. Jack needs that money.
I don't
right
actually
now.
get 15 grand a month.
Hey, Flow State,
Yo,
I think I'm ready to continue on.
Okay.
It's been entertaining with Mike and Banana and all the
Continue on
distractions.
with the show or ending the show?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'd like to feel like something has been actually productive. I know I started out with some ideas and I'm not really attracting the conversation pieces that I'm hoping to.
We'll restart it. I don't know what your plan is. I didn't start watching very long before I jumped in here. So.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, how do I communicate with people who clearly lack understanding? You, Mike, you, Banana. How do I communicate with you when you guys don't shut up and you don't pay any attention at all? It's like you don't give a shit that I'm even here.
Well, I do care that
you
you're
have to-
here. I thought you'd be happy that we were all having fun and enjoying ourselves in your place that you're hosting for us. I thought that was the plan, but apparently not. My bad. My bad. I misunderstood what we were doing here.
Jack,
Mike, your turn.
We were showing respect. We weren't disrespectful. We're just having fun and laughing. It's just it's
Right,
entertainment.
right,
Just laughing.
Mike,
Yeah.
right. I want to ask, are you willing to look at yourself? So far, when the question was asked, Mike, you willing to get some coaching? Nope. And then you're continuing, you know it all. But you know what,
No,
Mike?
it's okay. Well, I mean, so you want me to pay for it, right? You want me to
No,
pay for it?
Mike, all I want you to do is shut your trap and act like you care about what I'm saying. Is that
Bitch.
possible?
Hey, I care. If you read the private chat, I'm willing to do what I wrote in the private chat if you want me to.
Flow State, you just call me Flow State. You
Give
just
me
call
the
me a
number,
viewer.
man. I got this.
Flow State, you want to get in the ring with me? We'll get in the ring. We'll scrap it out, bro.
Sounds dusty.
Feel free to do that when Flo is hosting his panel. And you will see how well
What are you doing here?
it.
Yeah.
Mike,
You don't think it'll work out well for him?
well, the dude is nuts. And
The
this
dude
is
is
the
nuts.
thing I'm seeing on these online panels. Insanity is literally being enabled and rewarded.
By who?
By the masses. Seriously, look at the majority of the content. People sitting around talking about I don't know. I guess that's what I'm doing.
I can tell you why, Jack, but you really don't want to hear it. I mean, honestly, I could tell you the truth about why they joke and why everybody seems insane to you.
He's not interested.
Are you interested in knowing the truth, Jack? Because I can tell you the truth.
Okay, so you assume I don't know the truth, and
Well, you
educate
just told me that you didn't know why people weren't interested. Never mind, Jack. Never mind. I'll just keep my secret knowledge to myself.
Okay, right.
No. I'm not telling you. I don't know what I'm telling you now. I'm not. No. I'm not even telling you anymore, Jack. You just stay in the dark, buddy. You're rude.
You're in the dark, Banana. Because what I'm suggesting is when people stop wasting our time, there's real opportunities to make some differences in the world. I mean, if we actually talked about real stuff together instead of just going from one thought to a next thought to the next distraction and not really paying any attention to what's happening. I'm actually a man committed to finding a way to grow, finding a way to gain some community, some support, not for me, but so that we can try to bring peace to the world. Reforms mean people need to change. The behavior that has been brought here again today, Banana and Mike, Tommy, it is not healthy, it's not productive, it's not appreciated here. I don't know how to be more clear or more polite. So, you're right. This is the thing. We can't force insincere people to be sincere. You cannot force someone to care. You can't force someone to look at themselves. But if we try to communicate with people, I think, Mike, I'm dead serious. If you go back and look at yourself, instead of being all proud of yourself, ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? Because, hey, Flo, I'm ready to wrap up.
Gay.
That means you get out of here, Flo.
You want me? I'll leave you two alone for the ending. Good luck.
No, don't you leave me.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're my bestie. Don't you leave me. Oh, he left me. Damn.
I put him to the back.
You put him out? Oh, shit.
Well,
okay, Jack. I will not call you the Antichrist anymore. I apologize for that.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that.
So I won't call you that anymore.
Great.
Great. Well, it's a start, isn't it?
It is a start. And Chuck, I don't know if you heard my words earlier. When I reflected back on yesterday's stream, I wasn't proud of myself. I was clearly frustrated. I clearly could have been more patient. That's why I unblocked you too from the chat, and thank you.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
The thing is, though, before I mentioned to Flo, the thought that I'm seeing here, my disappointment is real. Okay? My disappointment is real. My frustration has been real. I feel that Mike and Banana, Flo, Tommy, the conversations you guys join in today, Chuck, not you. Okay? You
I
were
sat
on your best
patiently.
behavior. I know you did. I know you did. And I want to acknowledge that. I don't have bad feelings to you. For whatever reason, though.
Then why did you call me all those names yesterday? If you don't
Chuck,
have bad feelings towards me.
You've been denying the fact of the things that you've been saying about me. And here's something I realized last night.
Yes.
To tie to today as well. My disappointment is that I know that for whatever reason, we're missing out on opportunities. We could have spent our time together actually discussing things of value, but it turned into a gossip session again for a while. And Chuck,
No, it wasn't gossip. I was trying to narrow in on one fact. That was it, not everything else.
I was referring to the others on the panel
Oh,
today.
okay.
And in the past, the patterns of normal behavior on these panels is it's kind of a gossip session. People sit on a Zoom call and they talk about things, but I know there's lots of reasons to doubt me, but there's even more reasons to believe me. Chuck, what I realized last night, you and others, you want me to be more like you. You were trying to show that we're relatable, right? That you relate to me. You have an understanding. Many
Yeah.
people want me to be more like them. I want to be more like Christ. Now, it would be a lot easier for me to be more like Christ, I think, if I had another human being in my life.
Well, quit pushing everybody away then.
Who, Chuck, when those who are joining, like you, want me to be more like you and less like Christ, I don't want you around. So I'll continue to push away those who can't accept me, those
I'm
who
not talking
can't
about
appreciate me.
them others. I'm just
Who
talking
are
to
you
you.
talking?
I'm not talking about Tommy, Flo. I'm just talking about
Right,
people in
right,
general.
right. You're blaming me for pushing away people who attack me.
I'm
You're
not talking
telling me,
about them
stop,
people.
Chuck. You're not trying to understand me again. Thank you for joining. Someday you will. I trust in that. Because, brothers and sisters, I trust that someday we will all know not the truth of Jack, the truth of God, right? I am just here doing the best I can to share what I've learned from my real life testimony. Yep, might be a little bit different than what some of the churches teach, but my life is my life. I'm not lying about anything. Brothers and sisters, this life we've been given is a gift, and it is a miracle. Every day that we get to awaken is a miracle. Every new idea we discover is a miracle. Every solution is a miracle. We all have the ability to surrender our worries, our thoughts, our life. I have. My life is no longer mine. I live for God's purpose. I don't know God's purpose. I know that God wants me to be. God wants you to be. And if God wants us to be so much that we are being, well, that means that God's got faith in me. God's got faith in you. The universe created us for a purpose. I don't believe it's to sit around and argue all the time, but I could be wrong. I must be wrong because that's what I've been doing. Brothers and sisters, this is our life that God has given us. Sincerely, the path to a greater life for all of us, it is through love. I encourage everyone, you know what? Do as you want to do. Enjoy your life, but the best way to enjoy your life is to know that you've done good. So pay attention to what you think, what you say, what you do, and really look at you. If you don't understand you, if you're going through things and experiences just reacting without a purpose, hello, you're lost. If you don't have a purpose, you don't have a direction. If you don't have a direction, you're lost. So become present. Allow you to be found through uniting, reconciling, becoming one with God, God's love. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to wrap it up there. Sincerely, brothers and sisters, for those of you who do, please tune back in again. We'll see what the future brings. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Dominic, if you hear these words, I love you, my son. Happy birthday. God bless.